It's me, Simone, and in this video, in this installment of our stencil making journey, we're going to talk about the materials. Stay tuned. Alright guys, in the first video I made in the series, I talked about how to make your own patterns, where to find patterns to make your stencils. So in this video we're going to talk about the materials. Now I'm going to put this out here right now and say that I am talking about plastic, Mylar, and plastic like materials. You can't make stencils out of cardboard, cardstock, vanilla envelopes, really whatever. But I'm kind of really going and sticking to the more reusable long-term stencils. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. If you want a video on making stencils with that material, I can make one, but it's going to be a much different process than the process I'm doing this one. So just comment below if you want that kind of video, and I'll be happy to make it. But in this video we're going to talk more about the plastic, more reusable long-term stencils. Alright, so I just have a whole stack of materials here. So we're going to hit the first one and talk about it. This is called Mylar. So Mylar is the material that most, or pretty much all manufactured stencils are made out of. It is very sturdy, but you know, flexible. It comes in different kinds of finishes. This is like semi-frosty, I think comes with frosted one, and then clear. So you have that option to use. Oh. They come in different thicknesses too, from really thin to, you know, really thick. Like that's so, you know, descriptive. But they do come in different thicknesses too, which gives you the most options if you want different kinds of thicknesses for your stencils. Mylar is going to be the most expensive since it is a branded name, so it will be more expensive than the other options I'm going to be listing. But this is the best quality. So if you want to sell your stencil that you make, you want to make stencils and, you know, put them on Etsy or something, this is the material that you most likely are going to want to buy to make your stencil, since it's way better quality, it's just much thicker, and for people who are selling to people, you want them to kind of ensure them that this is going to be high quality. You paid a lot of good money for your high quality stencil, so this is an option. You can buy this on the Mylar site. I think there's a site. I think I went on a site that talks about Mylar. Or you can buy this off of Amazon or wherever, really, to be honest. There's so many different places that sell this. Just kind of type in Mylar and it'll pop up. But that is an option to use. The next option you guys have to use, I saw this option and I thought it was kind of interesting, is to use plastic folders. I actually saw someone cutting a design out of plastic folder, and I thought that was interesting. It was very interesting to see somebody use a plastic folder to make stencils, but it is plastic. I've seen people use the clear part right here to make a stencil. I've seen people actually use the colored part to make a stencil, because this is a really thick and sturdy material right here. You can do whatever you want to with this idea. The only problem you might have with cutting stencils out of this is, since it's not as see-through as the other materials I'm showing you, it might be a little harder to cut your pattern out of if you can't see through it as well. You really can't see my hand through it, can you? So just kind of be careful with that, especially this kind. This is very sturdy. I can't really see my hand through that, so this is an option. But that's an option too, you know, during back to school season. Plastic folders go on sale. You can kind of like stock up, get yourself some beautiful plastic. So that's another option you guys have. That range about a couple dollars. It could be, depending on your area, it could be a couple cents to a couple dollars for a plastic folder. This option I'll show you is the cheapest option upfront cost, because you can get these anywhere and during any season. But this is like, run to your store and buy this. This is plastic dividers. You can use plastic dividers and make your stencils. These are really easy to find. I get these at my local Dollar Tree for $1. It comes a pack of 8, and I mean, look at this. Now, of course, they're pretty flimsy when you first get them, so That might be a turn off for some people, but I'm telling you, after you add a couple layers of paint to these, like this one, it says paint on it, because I use it as a palette, it gets pretty sturdy after that. So don't worry, it won't be this flimsy every time you use it. I feel like most people who don't, you know, clean the stencils off, I'm guilty, guys. You'll be fine with this. But this is the thinnest material. It is the cheapest material to find. But the only problem you might have with this or the folders I showed you is size restraints. This is going to be a little size restraining because you won't be able to make a stencil bigger than that. This is an 8.5 by 11 stencil material that you're using. So you can't make anything bigger than an 8.5 by 11 stencil out of this 8.5 by 11 folder. So that's your restraint. If that's going to bother you, if you want to make a 10 by 10 stencil, you won't be able to make it with this. You can make an 8.5 by 10 stencil, but you won't be able to make a 10 by 10 stencil. So that's going to be the restraint of this. You're going to be size restrained between having to make your stencil this size or smaller. So that's your restraint with that. Of course, you can always get thicker past dividers. This one is really thick. Look at that. That is like, of course, you would have to cut the pocket off, but you can find thicker past dividers. That's an option too. I'm gonna keep this out because I don't have an example for this one, and it's acetate. You can actually buy acetate and make a stencil. Acetate can be a little expensive, but you can buy it pretty much anywhere. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure wherever you go, there's gonna be acetate. Like office stores, Walmart, Target, online. Amazon had a listing for, I think it was 100 sheets of like 9 by 12 acetate for, I think it was $62. It was expensive. Let's just be honest, it was expensive. Hold on. I'm actually gonna look it up real quick. Hold on. Oh, I was wrong. Sorry. These are 16 by 24 inches. And you get 100 sheets per pack. And this is $62.92. If you want to get that off of Amazon. Which is not bad. The size of it is not bad. So you really can make a 12 by 12 stencil. You can make any size stencil. You can get 100 sheets. But it's going to be more of a cost up front. As I said, I don't have any acetate in front of me to show you. So, yeah. But you can do that. That's one method you can do. You can even buy them off of Dick Blick. Dick Blick has a different sizes to buy too. I think the cheapest one I saw was 8.5 by 11. You got a 50 pack and it was 18 bucks. So you have that option too if you want to do that. Alright, the option I am doing besides the folders is I am using transparency film. What is transparency film? If you've ever had a overhead projector used in the classroom with you, the film they write on an overhead projector, that's called transparency film. It is used on overhead projectors. It is the cheapest material I found to use to make stencils. So that's an option. So mine came in a roll. I hope you can see this, and I hope it's not messing with my lighting since it's so transparent. Now this is actually pretty thin. It's not that thick. So I don't know if you can see that, but you might see the glare off of it. It is not that thick, but it is very sturdy. And unlike the other ones, this has more structure to it. Even though it's as thin as my dividers, it's still not as flimsy as my dividers. So that's that I liked about it. I bought a roll. I'm gonna show you the roll too. This roll right here cost me $8. You can get this on Amazon. You can get it on Walmart. I bought mine from Walmart. They're exactly the same price, to be honest. This is a 10.5 by 50 feet roll of transparency film that you can use to make stencils. I love this because I can do anywhere between 10.5 to who knows what to 50 feet of a stencil. I can make a 10.5 by 50 feet stencil. I don't think I would ever make a stencil that big. But you have more option with this. You can make a huge stencil. You can make a lot of stencils. The only thing you will have to make sure you do is when you use this, you have to make sure you lay it flat for a while so you can actually, use this. Or just tape it down. So you have your option with that. So that's another option. That's what I'm actually using. I bought this to make stencils. I'm using this in my plastic dividers. So that's an option. It's actually the cheapest option, but it is an option. I was really just shocked because transparency film is acetate. So I didn't know why that was so cheap. Maybe because it was in a roll. I don't know. I don't know why it was so cheap. Compared to the sheets I was talking about that were pretty expensive. Or you got like 12 sheets or something. But those are the options to use. As I said before, guys, you can use paper, cardboard, or paperboard if you want to. Of course, the methods I'm showing you, besides stencil making, like pattern making, the next video in the series is going to be cutting stencils out. You will have to do it a different way than the way I'm showing you guys. So, but I'll make another video about that if you want to. It'll be the bonus video in this installment in the series. But you can do that if you want to. There is an option. I hope this was helpful. I hope this video was helpful in finding ideas of ideas on what material to use to make your own stencils. It can be a little more expensive, but as I said before, the Mylar is really good if you're making this to sell. And it's good for your personal, uses, but for me, that's just a little more expensive than I'm willing to pay. The Acetate's pretty good too, but it is pretty expensive too. It's close to Mylar price. The plastic dividers are going to be the cheapest upfront cost, but as the same, there are size restrictions with that. And then the transparency film will be the cheapest overall with how much you get for the price point. Of course, my next video I'll talk about how each material works with heat, because I am using a stencil cutter. I have not told you guys what I'm using. I'm using a stencil cutter, and in my next video I will talk and mention the other ways you can make your stencils too. I hope this was helpful, guys, and have a great day.